And what I'm here to do tonight is to talk to you about something near and dear to my heart in life, stress. And that is, of course, an analogy for stress there. I bet most of you guys are under at least some level of stress. I know what that feels like. I've bought a home in the last couple of years. I've sold homes. I've moved. I've discovered my son has a peanut allergy. I've had a second kid. Started a business. Hired Scott Strohs. Laid off people. Run around like a chicken with my head cut off. Helped a family member with a failing business. And in general, it just feels like sometimes you're stuck on this roller coaster you just can't get off. And I take my responsibilities as a contractor and as an employer and as a husband and as a dad very, very seriously. And that can weigh on a person's shoulders. And if something goes wrong, problems occur, who do people turn to but me? And of course, that's just the top of the iceberg. There's stuff outside of work too, taking care of the kids, cleaning up. As you can see, we have messes in the house here. And when you're stressed out about work, who wants to really be cleaning up after the kids, or cooking dinner, or doing anything like that? And then, of course, there's email. I have a bad habit of stewing over emails with ominous subjects. Sometimes I'll read them and just not reply. And I don't know if that ever happens to you guys, but I'm just ruined for the day. And so I go off and I go do something else entirely. And the thing is, that doesn't solve anything. There's still the root problem, the source of the stress. And as you can see, I think about what the ramifications of these situations are, and probably more than I should. Like what happens if a project fails? People might be out of work. Families might lose their homes. Businesses may go under. And as you can see, maybe I'm being a little melodramatic in the last little image down there. But a lot of times, I feel a little mentally frayed, pardon the symbol there. I'm chasing cats, and I'm putting out fires, and sometimes I'm chasing cat fires. So, you might wonder, what do I do to decompress? And I joke with my wife that I get a new hobby about every 3 months. And these are all things that I use to distract my mind from the stress that I'm under. And I'm sure we all do that. And they can sometimes provide a little perspective on what's going on. But usually, for the most part, they're just distractions. But for a while there, I took up woodworking with moderate success. And by moderate success, you can see I still have all my fingers. I made that cabinet for my wife. And I made it out of 3/4 inch plywood, and I swear it weighs 300 pounds. So, moderate success. And if you can't tell from that, no, never mind. I also built this swing set, and this kind of goes along with stress because I built it 2 days before Christmas for my son. And I love anything that requires tools. You see that thing there? That's my favorite tool. It's an Allen wrench I cut with my Dremel so I can fit it in my power drill and put together prefab furniture in record time. This year, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Tech Shop, but I'm going to simply say that picture there is a bag of 2,500 marbles. That's a picture of a machine drilling 2,500 holes, and that's a picture of 100 marbles being held by a vacuum apparatus. Do you want to know why? Talk to me afterwards. I also took up remote control cars for a while. I had one of those gas-powered cars, and those things are so loud. They annoy the neighbors. I love it. But it took too much to maintain it, so I went into electric and got some boats and stuff for it. And it's not really about driving it. It's about taking it apart and putting it back together, because that's what occupies the mind. But, like most other people, I pass my time doing the same things you guys do. I play video games. I watch TV. I read. I used to drink beer. I mountain bike. No, that's not me. I unicycle. Oh, wait, nobody else here unicycles, I'm sure. So, not like everybody else in most cases, or like other people in most cases. But when I get back, everything's still a mess. I still have a house I've got to look after. I've still got that ominous email in my inbox. People are still depending on me. Killing time, yes, it was relaxing or kind of pseudo-relaxing, but it didn't solve the problem. And the thing is that stress has real outcomes. It impacts people. It can cause headaches. It can cause anxiety, panic attacks. It can make you have poor concentration or poor sleep. It encourages overeating, or it can cause overeating or undereating. And I heard about this really amazing study I can't tell you about overeating and how distraction in your mind plays into that. If you want to hear about it, catch me afterwards. And doctors will tell you, oh, well, go exercise, or meditate, or manage your time better. And is it just me, or is adding something else onto the plate of a stressed out person going to help them with stress or not? And so, I mean, these are great advice, but when it comes down to it, you have to often figure out what is the root of the thing that's really bugging me right now. What is it? And if you can identify it, sometimes you can do something about it. And if you can't, sometimes you can do something about it. And if you can't do something about that specific thing that's driving you crazy, then at least you can usually move down a notch. And if you're actively attacking these things that are stressing you out, then you're making progress, and you're not just putting up an artifice around these things that are stressing you out and distracting yourself. And you know, ignorance is not bliss. You need to be proactive, that's my opinion. You can't ignore your stressors forever, because eventually they're going to come around. You know, if you're doing a lousy job for a client, you need to go and confront that stressor, talk to the client, and fix the problem. If you don't do that, it will eventually blow up on you. So what I'm saying, the moral of my story is that if you're dealing with stress, instead of just weathering the storm, you know, put on some rain gear, do something about it, and you'll feel better and you'll have more fun in life anyway. There we go. Thank you.